Yeah, that's where I got my first big break. My first pro fight was in King Cage with Terry
Yeah,
Cox.
because he pushed you pretty hard. I remember you back in King Cage. You were tearing people up. You came out with like the chain.
Yeah.
Like, were you doing the chain back in King of the Cage? I think
Yeah. I've been wearing chains since high school, bro.
Oh, since high school. Oh shit, you didn't do that for fighting. That was you.
Yeah, that was me.
How long you had the nickname Rampage?
My cousin named me that when I was 8 years old from the damn video game.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Video game. So it wasn't from you going on a rampage?
Well, yeah. I used to do that in the house, but he was like, "Oh, you just like that video game you played, Rampage." It was one of my favorite games growing up.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a fight nickname.
A lot of people think that. A lot of people
sounds like a fight name, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Rampage?
it does. But I'm gonna be honest. If I could have picked my fight name, it would have been Action.
That would be a good name for you too.
It would have been a good name, right?
Rampage is a pretty damn good name.
It's a good.
It's a lot of action too. Like your fight style is just nonstop action.
Yeah.
The slams, the throws, like you have one of the best slams in history. Was it Rona you picked up?
Yeah,
threw you in
Rona.
a deep triangle. People don't, half my audience is fighting, which is a choke where you're supposedly in big trouble, and you just picked him up over his head and just boom, knocked him out.
What you would have done if somebody would have did that to you? You'd have just.
I would have been dumb and postured up and did the jiu-jitsu technical way, but you
No, I'm talking about if you was putting, because you're a jiu-jitsu guy.
Oh, if someone picked me up, I would have let it go.
You would let it go.
Yeah, I would have dropped that.
I still can't like understand why he didn't just let the triangle go.
He was just stubborn, I guess. He thought he was going to get you, and he just got put out. Some of these jiu-jitsu guys, they get like too stuck on their jiu-jitsu. If someone picks me up, I'm letting that shit go. Even in training, I do that from a habit. If someone picks me up, I instantly let it go, even if I know they're not going to slam me, because I want all the jiu-jitsu I do, I think, is it going to work in MMA in a real fight?
Yeah, he probably didn't think that the slam was going to knock him out, because that slam don't knock everybody out when they do it.
Yeah, you probably did it the hardest anyone's ever done it.
Yeah, like but I don't think nobody was doing it before then.
Well, you had the power. Someone earlier was showing me, like, hey, was this door fake when you split up a door in the Ultimate Fighter? It was a real door, though, right?
It was a real door. It was just cheap.
That's why I said, I'm like, no, it's real. It's just a cheap door. It's obviously not a strong door, but in Rampage is not a normal dude. He can knock off a cheap door.
Yeah, that door is cheap. That door is probably like the same door that's inside of most American people's homes, you know? Like the cheap door. When it tore apart, I looked at it, and it's like a little thin piece of plywood. Then it had like cardboard, like sideways, like making it thick, you know?
You did tear the thing up. I've never seen that. Someone showed me that, because they're like, was that a fake door? It almost looked fake. It's so easy, but I'm like, nah. I know. I've helped coach there. I'm like, they ain't putting fake doors.
They're not going to put a fake door.
That show's actually pretty good at not staging stuff for reality shows. That's the one show that doesn't stage stuff.
Yeah, that's the only reality show I've ever done that don't stage anything. But what they do is they edit it how they want it to play out.
They'll do that, but they're not staging.
They're not staged. They're not telling you what to do. So a lot of people thought that was staged. I'm like, I don't care. You know, a lot of people think.
I assistant coached there, and there was no staging when I was there. Helped with Coach and Gilbert Melendez.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Chuck, which Chuck's, my boy. You fought him twice. You know, beat him twice, which is impressive. Chuck Liddell is one of the biggest stars in the sport.
Yeah, Chuck is the OG, man. When I fought Chuck the first time, it was in that tournament. I had to fight Benelay 45 minutes later, right?
Didn't Dana bet like $1 million on him too, or something?
Well, he bet $250,000, and my coach at the time, I don't think he thought I was going to get past Chuck. He thought Chuck was going to beat me because we didn't train for Benelay. Yeah, that was a tough fight.
Would you have Vanderlei right after?
Yeah, I had Vanderlei right after. Yeah, 45 minutes later.
Damn, it's crazy. I did a tournament too. When you have back-to-back fights, it's so insane. You go back there and you're like, they don't do those anymore because this is so insane. But it wasn't regulated back in the day. You go there, you'd have 2-3 fights in a night.
Yeah, why they don't do it no more? They can still do it if they wanted to.
I love it.
You bring it back. They should bring it back.
Sure, it's not fair, but that's why it's so exciting. Because I might have a war, the other guy might not. But it's like, can you overcome this?
Right. Somebody should go to another country like Mexico or somewhere where they don't have strict, like a commission, and let's start doing some tournaments. Like
there used to be like 3 fights in a night.
Yeah, because Pride, the first round was 10 minutes. You do a tournament, 10 minutes, then 2-5. No, they did a tournament. They did a 10-minute and 1-5 for the tournament. I think, if I can remember.
Yeah. So when did you went from King of the Cage straight to Pride, or when did you make it to Pride?
Yeah, I went to Pride one time. I was supposed to fight this one guy. I can't remember his name, but he had went to Pride and came back. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. But
I'm terrible with names too.
He was blowing up at the time, and I think he fought Vitor or somebody in Pride, and he just bitched out, tapped out, and whatever. So I was supposed to fight him in King of the Cage. It's supposed to be a real tough fight for me, and he was trying to get more money out of Terry. So this is how I got in Pride. He didn't fight me. And I trained hard, but maybe I was going to lose that fight. He was probably a better fight. He's been fighting longer than me, but he backed out. He didn't want to fight me. So Terry had the president of Pride there at the show, and he said, "Man, you have to fight because the guy came, and I want him to see you and see your fighting style." So they grabbed some big dude out of the crowd.
Yeah, it used to be crazy days like that. People would fight out of the crowds, and
Yeah. He was like, he just grabbed this real big dude. He was a heavyweight. I wasn't heavyweight back then, so I fought the guy and I picked him up and slammed him like Hulk Hogan did Andre the Giant, and I fucked him up and shit. Oh, can I say fucked up and shit on your show?
Yeah. Poor guy had to fight you out of a crowd. Can you imagine? I'm sure you weren't as good as like obviously your peak, but even young, you was. I remember seeing you young before you were like before you were you were amazing right from the beginning.
Yeah, he didn't even know he was
polished,
fighting,
but you were still savage.
Yeah. I was
pick guys up, dip them.
I didn't have stand up or nothing like that back then, and I had a little jujitsu. I was training on the Fabiano Iha. I had jujitsu, but I just didn't like to show it. And the president came and talked to me after the fight. That fight, it was a mistake that I was wearing my camouflage pants that I always walk out in. I didn't bring my warm-up shorts. I forgot my warm-up shorts. And he was like, oh, I like your character. When you come to Pride, you wear your chain, you wear these camouflage pants. I love the way you howl. You make sure you bring these camouflage pants. And then he gave me his card. Then a while went by, and he never called me, and I was scheduled to fight Ken Shamrock.
Oh, wow.
And I had just started training for Ken Shamrock. I had to fight him in maybe like 4 weeks or so. And then Terry Turpcock said, like, oh, you're not fighting Ken Shamrock. You're fighting Sakaraba. I'm like, okay, who the fuck is Sakaraba?
He was a superstar at that point.
Right? I had no idea.
You just weren't following.
I didn't.
Massive superstar.
I had no idea. I didn't watch Pride or nothing like that. And he was like, Sakaraba, he's like a big star in Japan. And I was like, all right, how much I'm getting paid? He was like, double what you were getting paid for Ken Shamrock. I was like, okay. I'm like, when? He was like, 2 weeks.
Yeah, they want those short. They want us to lose. My first big fight was a short notice fight versus Hayato Sakurai in Japan. They gave us a short notice, but
did you win that one?
I actually won that one. I was helping Decision. I was helping Nick train for another fight, so I was in shape. But you came at 2 weeks, but you still had a war with Sakaraba with a 2 weeks notice.
Yeah. I think the main thing was they tried to make me lose 30 pounds, and they wanted me to do it the day of the fight. I was like, no way. So they gave me 3 hours to lose 30 pounds. And this is back when Pride didn't have weight classes. So I lost 27 pounds, and I said, I'm not losing no more. So I made my team carry me to the scales. That's when I first started acting. I was acting like
for a while, right?
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, no, I ain't doing them. I ain't losing no more weight. They carried me to the scales. Man, I remember that. That was hell, losing the weight. I almost got in a fight in a sauna because, in Japan, they want you to go in there naked.
Yeah, right? It's all those naked dudes.
They got mad at me. I'm like, why y'all want to look at my dick?
Yeah, right? I don't want to walk in there naked with all these dudes. They got mad about it.
Yeah, they got mad. I had on sweats, and I had my beanie on. I was in there shadow boxing and stuff, and they was speaking Japanese. And one of the guys in there, he was telling me, he was like, a big fat. I was like, what they saying? He was like, no, they want you to get naked.
See your dick.
I'm like, hell no. I'm like, no, they can get the fuck out of here. Because you hangry and shit, cutting weight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. People don't know around fighters. You get, those days before, you get mean. There's been a couple times where I yelled at my corner. They just sit there quiet because they know afterwards I'm like, oh, sorry, guys. I've had, you have your guy cut a weight. He might melt down on you, but you're just like, oh, he's just cutting weight.
Yeah, we know.
All you guys hate you. I've seen guys breaking down crying.
Yeah.
There's nothing tougher than cutting weight. It's tougher than the fight.
I believe cutting weight is harder than the fight sometimes.
I think so a lot of times, yeah. I feel like I was in a die cutting weight before. I never felt like I was in a die fighting.
Yeah.
It's not fun. No. In Japan, when I used to go there too, you can't use the saunas if you have tattoos.
Right.
You know how they're strict with the rules. I'd be trying to go in, they'd just be like, no.
Like, you know why they did that? You know why that's a rule, right?
The Yakuza, yeah.
Right. So do we look like
not Yakuza? Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, I'm not Yakuza. I'm white. You're black.
Yeah.